Good morning, friends. Happy Saturday. It's the weekend. We made it through another week. Yay. I hope you're well this morning. Today I have a poem for you called Storyland, which is keeping with theme, a theme park that is in northern New Hampshire, where I spent time growing up when I was growing up with my grandparents, as I've mentioned before. And my aunt and my grandmother used to take my cousin and I to Storyland quite a bit. And there was Storyland and Santa's Village and a whole bunch of these kind of little theme parks. And Storyland was it was sort of like a riff on, I suppose, what Disney would be if it was a smaller kind of, I think in some ways more charming experience. They had a castle and a moat around the castle with swans and a carriage for Cinderella and all of these little kind of performances around various fairy tales that you could go and watch. And I really, enjoyed spending time there. So this poem is has some imagery from that particular place. And if you're ever in that area of the country, check it out. It's definitely a tourist attraction, especially when the weather is nice in the spring and summer. And it features some more, of my family members, which, again, keeping on theme for this week with the rest of my poems. So this is my poem, Storyland. When we were children, we ran, hand in hand, across my grandfather's pasture, clutching Indian paintbrushes and searching out arrowheads. Blue eyes and quiet smiles for the boys, the neighbor kicking a soccer ball around your tan ankles, and later the grocer's son leading you out to the risers beyond the baseball fields. Later on, lying in the tall grass, you made me guess exactly where his hands traveled. At 20, you meet a man and make a blue-eyed girl of your own. He moves you to a small house far from town, and while she sleeps, young Mutt curled in the crook of her knees, he throws you against the wall, cracking the pine paneling. He left, and you moved on to a trailer in town, a small brook in the back where your daughter learned to swim, catch frogs, hunt her own artifacts. You enroll her in dance classes, drama camp, and offer up weekend trips to Storyland, where princesses live in castles, teacups spin, and flowers sing, where you, two girls, still hold hands, feeding white swans at the edge of the moat. So that's my poem, Storyland. And it's an interesting poem to read because again, it's about a very sort of specific time in my life when I was a kid. And I don't always think about or take time to think about those memories. And so that's one of the reasons that I like writing. And that's one of the reasons I like poems is I feel like they can be these sort of brief glimpses back in time. They're kind of like their own little time machine. And as I said yesterday, every time I read one, especially if it's about something that happened a while ago, and this one certainly is, it makes me think about things that I don't necessarily on a regular basis, and I think that can be a good thing. Remembering is sometimes a really useful tool, even if the things that you're remembering can be painful. Sometimes it's still helpful to remember them. So I hope that you're having a good day wherever you are and that you enjoy your weekend, and I'll speak to you soon.